Hey folks, Phil the Bee Man here. I thought today I'd tell you a little bit about my starter colonies. This is one. You can see it's pretty loaded with bees and they're queenless. I started this colony by combining a few queenless hives I found out in my daily work in the out yards, and then I added I think about 6 frames of hatching brood from my strong colonies here in the home yard. And these poor girls, they get identified as good colonies, and I'm constantly raiding them for extra brood so they don't get to show off what they can do. But so these colonies get the graft into the plastic cup when they're when I first graft them, and then I've missed 2 days. Let me think about that. I got rainy weather yesterday in the afternoon and I didn't feel like getting stung. And then the day before, I think we only got home from the bee yards at about 8 o'clock at night. So I missed 2 days of grafting, and that's okay. I'm kind of a fair weather grafter, to be honest with you. I like to do things when it's convenient. I don't need that many queens. I'm really only trying to graft a couple hundred cells. All right, so when you're at these cells, you got to be pretty careful with them because they get dislodged from the base. They're really at this multiple day stage. They're really swimming in baths of royal jelly, and they get dislodged or bumped or anything. You can get either defects in the wings, they get outside that royal jelly and they don't mature properly. So the temptation to just whack the bees off by thumping the frame has to be resisted. You're going to gently brush these off. And then at least every few days, I like to just super check through the colony just to make sure that they haven't picked up a queen, a cell. So I'm just going to visually inspect every frame. Right now I have a bit of a flow on this site. Dandelions finally are in bloom. So everything's kind of heavy with nectar. And so we have to replace heavy frames with empty frames. Otherwise a starter will fill up the space between your queen cells with honey and wax, and that can make a real mess. So added some empty comb. Just a quick inspection for any stray cells. When you add brood to these, it's an odd egg that right age to be developed into a queen. You got to nip those in the bud. Everything looks to be in good shape. Now see, here's a cup the bees have built up, but there's nothing in it. So that's fine. Just doing a very careful inspection. This is where eggs would be if there was a queen here. And they're clean. The bees have prepped those cells. They're kind of polished up. You got a certain shine to those cells when workers are telling the queen that's where they want the eggs, but since there is no queen, there's nothing in there. And it's just an outside honey frame. I'll add a couple more empties. This would be something a place to put the nectar that's incoming. And I'll leave the space where I want my new graft to come. and I'll be back into this colony in a little while with a fresh craft.